this actual ticket has been decided that I'm going to sing, so here we go. And a one, and a two, and a 1, 2, 3, go. Adam Cole and the babies. 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 No, okay, the party for life. The party for life.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back in. Welcome to THS Wrestling presents That Wrestling Show. Don't call it a comeback. Maybe call it a comeback because it's been months. I don't know how long. My name is John, also known as JP Thrice, and I am joined by the only person that I would crawl across the ring and reach for the hot tag from, my good friend Neesin. Neesin, what's going on?
I would not alligator arm you. I promise. I swear. But what's going on? Look, it's a glorious Sunday. I have my 90s inspired button up on because I have an improv show later. But most importantly, let me just take this off real quick. Sundays are about family. You know, like the great Dom Toretto once said, family, right? And in this LA family, we celebrate two things. One, when the sun comes out, apparently, like, you know, during the wedding. And two, when the Lakers win. Yes, that's right, Matthew. The Lakers win. Lakers in 6. I will say it again and again and again and again and again. That's right, baby. We are slowly climbing up that sweet, sweet ladder of the Western Conference to probably going to end up in, look, I say number 4th seed. I say maybe even a 5th or 4th seed. Get right in that middle, right in a little sweet spot. And we're coming for the goal, baby. Lakers at 6.
Not how you start, how you finish is what
That's what she said.
Old sports. Oh, hey-o.
Hey.
My goodness. Well, that's good. That's good. Folks, it's been a couple of months, and I guess I would just like to say to everyone who you know, comes in weekly and hangs out with us, sorry. That's a lot of things life-wise happened. A lot of things just kind of being lazy, if we're being honest. And this is me just speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for Neesin. I'm just speaking on my end. But we're back. We are ready to talk wrestling each and every Sunday. And around this time, I don't know, we'll see. But it'll be around this time. We're gonna try something different this time around. We're gonna end the show now. No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
Over. Neesin might need the JJ Watt treatment. Oh, we get the video, get the retirement video. That was a great video.
It was. It's great.
So yeah, it's been a while. We had a Royal Rumble, a Wrestle Kingdom. We had Noah versus New Japan. We've had the Bloodline being together and then seemingly not together. And then that kind of leads us to what we wanted to talk about in our big. We wanted to go in depth, and we wanted to talk about the future, who the future of WWE kind of belongs to. And there's a lot of he got a random drug test last week after retiring. Oh, well, I would rather put together a nice video package for Neesin instead of randomly drug testing him. That might just be me.
That was talking about me. I got a drug test.
That's what he said.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I was okay. Yeah, I mean, well, look, I'll pass on my drug test. You know, I'm clean as a whistle.
I also would.
Clean as a whistle, baby. Also, been training, so it's just that's a whole nother thing. That's probably why we're clean. But continue, please. Set up. Let's get a clean axe.
So we hear a lot of talk. You know, WWE kind of has a weird embarrassment of riches. At the saying Lakers and 6 means he's got to be high. Damn. Also, Dylan, what's up, man? I don't think I said hello to you. Kat, what's going on? Matthew, it's good to see everybody. And Matthew also said he's been to 3 wrestling shows since the last time we saw you two. My God. That's a lot. Anyway, so embarrassment of riches in the main event, kind of circling around the main event. We have Cody Rhodes, who is the number 1 contender, who will get the title shot at WrestleMania. We have we even still have Kevin Owens hanging out around the main event. We have Sami Zayn, who's you know, there as well. But we do have one other person that we kind of want to spotlight today, and I feel like we've known this since we were hanging out in the Performance Center with Digital Crowd. Jey Uso. We want to talk about Jey Uso this weekend, and could he be the future of the main event in WWE? And Neeson, I'll let you have the floor for a little. I need a State of the Union address from Pingel about what's going on in Jacksonville. No, not that's maybe that'll be my rant today. We'll see.
So what you're asking is does WWE are they grooming a main eventer for a foreseeable future in Jey Uso, right? And what I would say is I would say yes, and not because Cody isn't a guy, not because Jay White potentially isn't a guy. Of course, we know they could make Kenny a potential guy. Because I feel like AEW still hasn't really made Kenny that guy in America. But I think when we look at WWE and the history of them building talent, a lot of their talent are homegrown. A lot of their crossover big talent. I mean, you could pick them. They're homegrown WWE talent. I mean, you could look at the line: Austin, Rock, Cena, Roman, right? Jey Uso not only now is that he's been there for over 10 plus years, but also he now has the storyline, the equity built, the connection with the fans. And I think, to me, I know we always talk about it. Shout out to Mimi from Wrestling Podcast and Black Wrestling in what is it? Her show Turntables and Kicks.
Yes.
Every Tuesday, Twitter Spaces, guys. It's great. 2:45. Please watch it, or listen rather. It's fun. Join in. She's a hoot, I tell you. But she's been talking about this for a long time, and I've agreed with her. But seeing Friday night Jey Uso just standing at the top of the stairs like Sting in the Raptors in the 90s and just getting a pop, and people are just like acknowledging him, I instantly thought like, oh, this is their, like, we always know main event Jay, but no, this is the guy they could put the strap on. This is the guy that they could put the rocket on and really use to help build other stars around him and make him dominant. And as they talk about possibly splitting the two titles, Jey Uso now seriously has to be consideration with Drew, with Cody, with Seth, with any other top main eventer. He has to be in that consideration. What do you say, Pings?
I agree with you, and I feel like anytime we're about to hit a bloodline segment, like the guy who did the voiceover for Days of Our Lives should just come on and let me know that I'm about to see some crazy great stuff.
Right.
I've said this, we've said this in conversations that we've had in the ether over the last like 4 months. Anything they do with this segment, or these guys, anything they do with these people, I am putting respect on it. I'm seeing some crazy stuff.
Hey, Dylan, are you a Days of Our Lives fan?
Listen, I'm still mad that my mom is upset that they canceled all my children. Okay, Natalie in the well. She was stuck in the well. That's all I remember when I was a kid. But my mom
I was
really
about to say,
loved
how many people like died and came back in All My
all of
Children?
them.
Is General Hospital, is that still around? Is that that's still a
I'm
thing?
not sure. I think it
Days
is.
of Our Lives, All My Children, General Hospital. Those are the three that I just know off top. That's
Yeah,
it. And
there's
and maybe
another
like
one
one
that I'm
telenovela.
sure we're forgetting, but
Yeah.
um yeah, anyway. Uh but no, I'm saying I know I'm going to see some good stuff when we get to this segment with involving everyone. So I'm
Right.
kind of the anything that we do with any of these people, I'm in for. But with Jay, you mentioned he's getting the I've been forsaken by my family and my friends, and
Yeah.
now I'm hanging up top all by myself. Very much he's getting the Sting kind of treatment. Um, and I wonder how far this will go. Apparently, yeah, soap operas
I mean,
explained.
that's
That's actually
that's what professional wrestling is.
we were telling you about some new segments. That's actually one of our new segments. Soap operas explained. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. But I think where we kind of lack, and I don't really want to talk about Jacksonville right now. Kind of where we lack with there, we can see the seeds being built here, as in Jay Uso, who is, prominently been in a tag team for most of his career, and now it looks like, well, maybe I think he could be in this main event picture for a while, and I don't think I would get tired of it.
Yeah, when we say being in the main picture for a while, like you know, the Bloodline storyline has been going on since 2019 ish, right? Like it really has. It's about to be a 4 year long storyline that
Crazy.
looks like it still has meat on the bones to continue on. And they really struck gold with this. I can't remember. Look, DX has broken up and came back. Of course, they had Triple H and Stephanie thing, and then him, and then him bringing Road Dogg and Billy Gunn back over, and then the offspring of X Pac and Kane, and then it was just this twirl of just it.
Yeah.
It was a mishmash thing. We've never ever seen something like this in WWE, where it's just been a stretch of the same four people
Yeah.
essentially, right? Paul
With
Heyman, the
other people
Usos,
rotating around them. Yeah.
right? We've never seen this happen before, and so with that said, it's like you could tell so many stories with so many. And I know Sammy's talked about this, Paul Heyman has talked about this. Actually, so they just put out an incredible day of elimination chamber of Sammy,
Oh, I
and
haven't
he.
watched it
Oh
yet.
my God, it's so incredible. Go, I encourage anyone go. If you go to Sammy's Twitter, you'll be able to find it. I think it's the first tweet. You'll be able to find it there. But he talks about how after the match is over, he says, he was like, I felt like this is the end of the second act and we're going into the third act.
Love it.
And he was like, it feels like the hero is going to achieve it, and then he comes crashing down. But that's literally just the start of everything starting to happen.
Yeah.
And he was like, I feel like that could go on for forever.
Yes.
And he's absolutely right. And so it's just when we talk about this and we look at all the players on the field, like all the decks that's in it, like I said, Seth, Cody, Walter, Gunther,
Gunther. Yes, my bad.
yeah,
I called him Walter.
yeah, Montez, all these people that like literally just they could prop up and they could be in a main event and it'll feel either
believe it. And you
to
believe
be
it.
believable. Jay Uso right there not only has the equity that doesn't feel like it's hot shotted, but he has literally like the connection with the crowd, like a real connection, not from a move standpoint. It's a storytelling standpoint.
Yeah.
And that's the rare part. If we're talking about, and also why are we talking Jacksonville as AEW? Why are we calling
He
it
just said it. He said Jacksonville. So.
But so if we're talking about Jacksonville, because I thought it was funny, I was like, yeah, like we just are.
Well,
they
I mean, WWE New York, so
letters should not be spoken. anymore. Are they Baltimore? And if we're talking about Jacksonville, like that's their issue, right? Like it's the real connection through a story. Yeah, like of course the Bucks are over, of course Kenny's over, of course, you know, any anybody over there is really quote unquote over, but is a story over? I know they're trying,
Yeah,
right?
I mean
Like
I think that's a
that's
talk for another day because
oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
I know just, it's always like, well, they don't have any story. And I mean, I could, play devil's advocate and be like, well, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying the story's good, but they're
Yeah,
trying.
no,
It's
no,
there. It's not just like fighting for fighting sometimes, but
they have story. That's like I don't. Nobody should be saying they don't tell stories. It's
yeah.
just how they go about telling stories. Like one of the stories that has a connection that I feel like they're dropping the ball on, or they're trying to do too much on rather is the Adam Cole story.
Yes.
Like Adam Cole has a connection with the crowd that if you put him in front of the mic, like just put him in front of the mic, start telling his story, have people believe in him. He has the same connection as a Daniel Bryan had during his run. Like give him that much energy. Give him that. But again, it's how they're telling the story. I think
Yeah.
Jade has a story right there at her becking call. She should be trying to go for both belts 53-0 has
Yeah.
nothing to do. Like she's the big bad over there. She should be going to take those. She should be in that triple threat match.
Yeah, I
That's just
agree.
how they going
But I
about it.
mean, we'll talk about that
Yeah.
later. Maybe not today, guys, but we'll see. So I mean, Thomas, what's up? I did not say hello to you. Welcome back in. He brought up a point, and I just like one thing that I like. Does it worry you that we are like we're headed towards the tag team title match
Yeah.
at WrestleMania? Do you feel like maybe because it's kind of like I want to see main event Uso, I want to see it soon.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I feel like we haven't seen a lot of things soon, and it's kind of like maybe I'm like, I need this now.
Yeah.
But do you see that being the catalyst for the breakup of the Usos and Jay going out on his own? Do you think that's where we start? Like we reset with everything, but we have Jay back on top. I guess I assume after maybe a Uso, and it's an all Uso match, Uso versus Uso.
Yeah. Thinking about that, right? Like Jay has said his dream match is his brother versus his brother at WrestleMania, right? Now what would I want to see? Look, I want to see a all bloodline pay per view. I want to see them do the DX pay per view or the what
For the
was the know your
NWO one.
role in your house, the know your role in your house.
Yeah.
Give me a bloodline in your house where they have Jay versus Jimmy for just at the main event. You have Roman versus whoever to open the show. You have Sami Zayn versus whoever, or Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Like but you have everybody that's been intertwined in a storyline somehow. You have them on the card. That's what I want to see. But where do I think we go after? I think. Look, I think they definitely dropped the titles. That way we could get to splitting the titles up. They have been defending the titles, separate titles on separate brands, which I thought was very clever to kind of drop into our ethos again. Like, oh, these Raw titles can be defended on Raw, and these SmackDown titles can be defended on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Great. And then after that, maybe at SummerSlam, which I think, at first I was like, man, it'd be dope if we get Roman versus Jay at SummerSlam in Detroit. That's a big main event.
Yeah.
But we could still have Roman versus whoever at SummerSlam, Cody versus whoever at SummerSlam, and then we could have Jay versus Jimmy at SummerSlam, and then at the next premium live event, we could have Roman versus Jay. If that's Rumble, if that's Mania, whatever it is, it's a draw. and I
Dude,
think it's a huge draw.
you're writing backwards. So you're
Yeah,
going from
well,
okay. Yeah.
some
So
may call me a writer.
do you think I think like because we talk about Jay and our want I don't think it's necessarily a need, a want to see him in the main event and possibly winning a world championship. Jesus. So do you think there's any chance and I mean I'll get to this in a second as well
Mhm.
because I mean if Jimmy leaves the bloodline, I assume that his mission in life is because the rest of the bloodline follows Roman is that he's going to make sure and Roman's big thing is you can't fail this family, you can't fail the bloodline. So
Right.
would Jimmy go on Revenge Tour 2023 and be like uh
Mm.
they won't fail you. I'll make sure that I beat them. Like they won't fail you personally. I will beat every member of the bloodline up to you and I will end the bloodline myself. Do you think
Jim,
that Jay is the one that ends the bloodline or do we continue on with a bloodline, like a different bloodline? I mean, I'm not sick of the bloodline. I'm not saying we need to end the bloodline.
you're talking about the white and black bloodline instead of the black and red bloodline.
No. No. I don't want any of that
Back.
nonsense. No. I'm saying like Jay uh on his own accord leaves the bloodline and then turns around and says, "I'm leaving the bloodline, but I'm burning the house down and I'm going to make sure that Roman thinks that everyone around him is a failure before I take out Roman."
Yeah, I think it's something to that. I mean, I think you got Solo and you got Jimmy, that Jay would have to get before Roman. Now also, I think they could easily bring in Jacob Fatu at this point if Jay leaves, right? That have a real like, yo, I got some killers on the TL. Somebody just said, I think Jimmy and their joint killers are the bloodline. Yeah, I think they could really play around and bring in Jacob Fatu. They could bring in the other Uso, the one that their youngest brother that just started wrestling.
Yeah.
That I don't know if he's at the Performance Center or not, but he was at Circle Six. Shout out Circle Six. He was at Bar Blitz. They could bring they now could throw a bunch of stuff in if they really want to make Jay a bona fide star, like on his own. They could throw a bunch of people at him, and then he could also help elevate by bringing a bunch of people on his side from NXT. And this could last another year, and we could be looking at a main eventing one night, Roman versus Jay, with no titles involved. Like it doesn't have that, and that was my argument. I really hope Roman loses because I feel like this story is so big it doesn't need the titles anymore. This is not about
my next.
This is not about Roman being a title bearer. This is not about Roman being the face of the company, like with the titles. He doesn't need that anymore. He is literally the face. He is John Cena. And now this is not John Cena in like 2010 on that's only two people could hold the titles because that's the only two people that's going to go out and do interviews or whatever. No, you have Roman, you got Cody, which is the American hero. You have, you got Sammy, if you want to do Sammy, which is the heart. You have all these people. And plus you're going to have Kenny and everybody else is probably going to flock in 2024, MJF, et cetera, et cetera. So he doesn't need the title. But what he does need is a whole new flock of people to tell a story with and to really beat down. And I think that's what we're going to see Jay be the helm of. It's not going to be Kevin and Sammy that's going to, like he said, like, we're going to burn it down. No. It's going to be Jay. Seth Rollins? Yeah. Look,
burn it down.
I would love it to be Seth, but it's a moment in that Seth is talking. He's like, yeah, me and Sammy's been friends for 20 years and is so happy to see him finally get this because people like us don't usually get this.
Yeah.
And it was the most saddest moment. Like you could just see it on Seth's face. Like, and it reminds me of the Ariel Hawani interview with him. And he says, maybe I'm never meant to be that guy because I'm in a time period with Roman, and Roman will always be that guy. And it's just like, damn, man, he's right. Like, he's right. Unfortunately, he is the Bret Hart to Shawn Michaels, right? Like, he is that. Now, granted, Shawn Michaels, numbers did really hit, but he was the star, and Bret Hart was just considered the technical wrestler, right? And now we look back and be like, well, they were actually both pretty, yeah. So, man, it's. I wish it was Seth. I really do, because if we could get Authority Seth back, like with
I don't,
now,
honestly,
with now,
I don't. I almost never want him to be anything other than whatever the heck this is, because it's just so entertaining and ridiculous that I just don't want it to be anything else.
I just saw this.
Oh, Donnie, what's up? Doug, what's going on? We'll get to Thomas and Doug have made some interesting points that I kind of want to bring up.
Okay,
I gotta check out these A&E Legends things too. I saw his thing about the DDT, which I mean we've known. I think we feel like we've known about that. Thank you, Donnie.
NWO. That NWO one's tough. It's tough, man.
Oh yeah, I bet.
That Scott Hall, yeah, it was. I didn't I actually just saw that interview I did with him.
Yeah, I saw it popped up for me a little while ago.
It's tough, man. Tough.
So
go ahead.
I think like there's some the best part about Jay and the Bloodline is there's lots of little threads to where we're like well, maybe Jay will destroy the Bloodline, well, maybe so and so will destroy the Bloodline. Doug brings up a good point. Do you think that Roman or Paul Heyman will turn on each other at Mania? Because apparently Thomas said there was some sort of tease maybe that could be happening from this past Raw.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Paul Heyman is definitely being Paul Heyman, right?
Yeah.
He's definitely pulling some strings, and we don't know what the strings are meant to be pulled. I feel like they already did that Paul Heyman turning on Roman in order to give Roman that solo victory over Brock at Mania. Like I believe that's what that was for. So I don't think they need to do that anymore. I think if Paul Heyman needs to go down with the ship.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and so play the violin, brother. Like as the ship goes down. I think this is the biggest WrestleMania. When they say this is the biggest WrestleMania, they really mean it, guys. These tickets are expensive and they're selling
nosebleeds.
And yeah, they are. It's going to be the biggest gate of any WrestleMania if it was just one night. So with 2 nights, so they won all of those players with Roman, Paul Heyman, Solo, Jimmy, and Jay, all going to be in play. And I think we are going to see it burn down the Monday after Raw.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thomas, you would assume incorrectly, at least for me.
Yeah, I'm working on it. We got some working on some trying to get there, man. It's tough.
Yeah. As of this moment, no.
But surrounding things, everything else around Mania.
Surrounding things, I gotta pick and choose here, but I think I really want to go to For the Culture. I know it's at midnight, but I still want to go.
Yeah, we'll be at For the Culture. But it'll be
some other cool stuff coming up too.
Yeah. Some great stuff. It's gonna be a great week. Either way, either we're gonna be at
Yeah.
it, but we'll be at Wale Mania. We'll be at all those other things, guys. It's
Yes,
gonna
I
be
will be
fun.
on stage with Wale, and he will ask me to sing something, and then I will be booed off stage.
I mean, only
But it'll
because
go viral, so that's pretty cool.
you're gonna sing Dance Dance, and I'm gonna tell you, please don't sing
Ugh.
Dance Dance. Don't do that.
Oh,
See, exactly. I'm like, don't do it, and then you're gonna
how
start
dare
singing. I'm
you?
gonna have to back you up. I'm like, Dance
Well,
Dance
that's good at least.
before you.
See, and that's another thing you can learn from the bloodline. And you mentioned Fast and Furious. Family is what you make. And maybe Jay realizes, yeah, this may be my bloodline, but this is not my family.
Exactly.
You got to make the
Exactly.
tough choices in life. Sometimes you got to cut family out, kids.
And that means Jimmy is gonna be like, you're right, and then Trinity is gonna come out and say, next Raw, we're having a pitch black match produced by Mountain Dew.
No, no, not a big black match.
You want
No.
the competition? Side note, I know I keep holding this up. This is actually a real Dom Toretto chain that I got
Replica.
from the Fast and the Furious
Yeah.
little trailer thing event that gave people these. This is pretty hilarious.
I don't really have anything that cool. I do have this baseball card of Bam Bam Bigelow playing the
No, that's pretty
saxophone.
fucking cool, man. That's
I
pretty.
mean,
That's
that's pretty much
pretty
all I have.
pretty cool. I mean, are we just holding up cool stuff now? Is this a break? I have a
Oh,
Doctor Strange pin. Yeah,
um,
that's what I got. Yeah, we're just
I
holding
have
up
dry
stuff.
bones.
Ah, well, yeah.
My niece got me this because I would always
Um,
play as dry bones on Mario Kart when we would play. Um,
I have Marvel Paris, New York hotel set. So at the Marvel
ooh,
Hotel in Paris, they sell this, and it smells very good. It's a
there you
great,
go.
great house smell, guys. You should get it.
I know we talked about maybe doing like a little ranty segment, but I feel like I'm in like a decent place right now, and I'm just trying to figure out like what would I rant about, and it would be AEW.
Okay,
Um, I feel like and I want to get to some of
but
the questions we got in here too.
well,
Um,
let's set you up here properly.
oh,
Let's set
you
you up here
have
properly.
something for me? This is all
Nah,
new.
yeah. I'll give you some little background music, guys. Look, so we're gonna start this new segment where Pingle, he's gonna get some things off his chest, right? Because usually when we have conversations about wrestling during the week, it's what the fuck just happened here, or it's oh my god, you have to see this match, right? During the past couple of months, of course, we've been talking about professional wrestling, and it's usually been like, look at Mercedes. She just dressed like the tribute she did to
Hana
I don't want to
Kanamura, yes.
Hanukkah, yeah, Hana Nakamura. Like, look at that. Oh my god. And then it's like, woof, what match was that? What the hell is going on with that? Um,
Oh my God, he's gone. Well, that's awkward, isn't it, folks? Um, I'm sure he will be back momentarily. I was like,
guys, that's
hello everyone. Welcome to I was like, uh-oh. You good? What happened? You hit a button? You get too hyped?
yeah. So here you go, Pingo. Here's your time.
Oh
Take
no.
it away.
Look at this hat, guys. I got this hat today. Support local businesses. But yeah, Neeson and I have been talking about AEW for a while, and it almost feels like 3 months ago we were like, great show every week. This is a great show. This is a fun show. And lately it kind of felt like I think Neeson described it as walking in the mud. And it feels like everything we see is very, I've seen it before. Nothing feels exciting. Like the match quality is good, but I feel like some other stuff it's just kind of like, oh boy, I'm not having a really good time. And it almost feels like watching AEW has become a chore. Which none of you live with me, but I don't like doing chores. It's not fun. So and I'm just trying to figure out what is wrong. Like, what could I pinpoint to what is so wrong with the disconnect that I'm having? Is it we have too many titles? Is it just seems like nobody's saying and then what? Is it the weird thing with MJF telling us a story about he was in a car with a girl and they got in a car accident and then he switched seats with her and then 2 weeks later he's like, I'm mad because you found love. It's like really weird stuff like that, and I'm just trying to figure out what is the disconnect that I have. And I know I have Orange Cassidy right here. He had a great match with Wheeler Yuta this week. That was great. And I'm very confused, and I'm not like upset yet. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, we have a pay-per-view on Sunday, and it's supposed to be like the biggest pay-per-view. And while I do want to see some of the matches, I don't want to see all of the matches. And I think that might be the first time in the history of AEW that I've been like, I don't want to see all of the matches. Which sucks. And I just can't pinpoint one thing. And I think that is also a problem. Is that I can't just be like, when we first started with AEW, it was like, this is great, but they really need to fix their women's division. It just feels really stale, and yeah. And now it's like, this is okay, but they need to fix this. They don't have enough of tag teams, and the tag teams they do use, they're just using them over and over again. Or we're just using makeshift tag teams and putting them on pay-per-view. I don't know. There's just a lot that is left to be desired with AEW, and I just don't know what would make me feel better about it. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I know this wasn't like a full-on rant, and Neesin just disappeared again. Don't worry, guys. I'm sure as we get into it more, we will have some crazy old. I think my greatest rant was my Undertaker rant. I think that was my best one, was the Undertaker rant, which I still sometimes go back and watch just because it's so funny. But yeah, I don't know what the issue is, and I just can't pinpoint it. Whereas in the past, I used to be like, everything is great. It's just this one thing. Now it feels like it's too many things. They need to introduce a tag team title for the no. Absolutely, I'm going to say right now, absolutely not. They can't even figure out what to do with their women's title. It feels like we're trying to do a bigger storyline with Tony Storm and Saraya. I don't know where that's going. So, I mean, like I said earlier, they have storylines. Am I completely interested in them? I don't know. But yeah, it's just not clicking. It's not clicking like it used to. My Adam Cole undisputed rant was epic too. I would have to go back and was that I can't remember.
I
Like Adam Cole.
I need you to find that. I need you to
before
find
I saw
that.
the light.
Oh yes, this is right. This is back at Bug, right? This is back at Comic Bug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feels about right. It's time for Jade to go to AEW. I don't know.
Yes.
It's time for Jade to go to WWE.
I agree. I think as she said, they fumbled the bag heavy. I think absolutely I think it's no doubt if the money's right, she's leaving in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I think the other thing they fumbled the bag with, and we don't really know the full scope of it, is it felt like we were really teasing Mercedes showing up for not just 1 week, for like a couple of weeks. Do you remember that the women's main event where they kept doing that wide shot towards the end when the match is over, they kept doing a wide shot of the Jumbotron and the ring. And that was like, to me, was like, something's going to happen on the Jumbotron. And they went to it a couple of times and nothing happened. And they said, we'll see you on Friday. And I went, wow, that was poor camera or directorial work to make me think something was going to happen. And then nothing happened.
Yeah, I think that was more us, honestly. Like, the camera work was terrible, but I think it's us projecting Mercedes coming. I honestly don't think Mercedes is going to be a part of AEW. I think hearing Bailey talk about how she loves WWE and WWE is her heart, but also Bailey is her heart. She wants to come back. Also hearing about this, she has a couple more appearances with New Japan.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think she's going to go to AEW. I honestly don't. I think, it'll be great, but it'll also, her just doing New Japan and coming back to WWE is going to position her in a stronger light and gain her more money, but also gain her in a prominent position to be like, respect my authority, damn it. Like, I love this. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. I sold out a whole venue with only my match announced.
Yep.
Like a whole arena.
She could just show the screenshots.
Sold out.
Yep.
Like, no other match was announced. Like, Charlotte's not doing that. Becky, Becky may be ish. But come on, man. Come on. Ronda, come on, man.
I think,
come on.
Just to talk about Mercedes for a little bit, I feel like she's at the point right now where she doesn't need to go back to WWE. I think she could stay the course in Japan for a while and maybe even go to Mexico, which I think.
Yeah, I was about to say she's definitely going to go to Mexico before she goes back. She's going to go like Mexico, Japan, and then she's going to come back for sure.
She will, just like it might be like a year or two.
I don't even think that long, honestly.
You think Rumble?
No, I think Rumble, depending on, like, she's going to work AAA, and she may work something else, but I think Rumble for sure she's going to come back, and I think don't be surprised she comes back, wins the Rumble, headlines WrestleMania in Philadelphia. Like, if that story is there, I would not be surprised at all. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's the year that, Jade comes, 2024. If that's the year that we may have Tony Storm's contract up or somebody else's contract up. It was just reported in Wrestler Observer that WWE has positioned themselves to get out. Like everybody big in AEW has their contracts come up within this year or next year, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so but
yeah.
I think she's that person. She's that wrestler. She's that draw. She's that main event. It's the boss, the blueprint, the standard, the GOAT, the queen of the sale, the DVT Mandalorian, the CEO, Mercedes Moné. Okay, like, that's who she is, and I think it's beautiful to see, man. But to your point about what AEW lacking something, I think you're right. I just said they need to catch fire in the bottle. They are stuck in the mud. They're stuck in the mud, and it's they need to figure out something that's going to pull them out. And maybe it's good old Phil. Maybe it's good old Phil.
That was one thing we talked about, and I really don't, because I know we were like, let's do a 45-minute long show, and it's like at minute 45, let's mention CM Punk.
No, we don't have to dive into it. It's just a mention. That's a mention.
Yes, I do think if we're somebody's pulling a stick into the mud to pull AEW out, it's old Phil flanked by FTR. That's the money storyline. That's you want to talk about the summer of Punk? That's the year of Punk right there.
And that is the money. But we'll see. He's coming up. They got to.
You just got to forgive.
Well,
and forget and just make a ton of money. Like, I think that's what we should do. I mean, we should do that too, you and me personally. We don't need to forgive or forget. We just need to make a ton of money. I think is what it is.
we forgive and forget too.
Well, yes, we do that, but not with each other unless this is now a therapy session.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas, be our therapist.
Oh my Thomas, no.
Thomas, be our therapist. Matthew, you go watch a Laker game, learn something. All right. I had a segment that I wanted to introduce where it's a non-wrestling conversation with us, our people, our family here together. Now, normally, this is where I will bring up my Marvel talk. Since Pingel has not seen Ant-Man and Quantumania yet, I don't want to spoil anything, even though it's been spoiled. I'm sure he's like knows a whole plot by it.
I don't know any. I literally know nothing.
All right, guys. Somehow. So keep all spoilers out the comments, please. Instead, what I want to have a conversation about, which is near and dear to my heart, is improv. Guys, if you're from the Southern California area, or maybe Chicago area, or maybe Texas, or even New York, not so much Florida, you have friends that participate in improv, right? I get it. It's a tough ask. Hey, come see me perform random sketches that don't make sense until hopefully the end, and walk like a dog and make noises and ask you not to yell out the word pineapple when I ask you for a word. I get how tough that is in a either small box theater, whatever case, what have you. What I will say here, though, if you have a friend that goes to either these 3 improv houses, theaters, schools, etc., show up and support them. Anyone really show up, but these 3 in particular, let's say Second City, Groundlings, or UCB Theater. Now I'm going to talk about UCB Theater because that is my home for homes for improv. It is a special place that people spend time, money, and just crafting their talents, spending hours, not only just trying to become quote unquote funny, but trying to use tools that they can use in life, rather it's hosting a podcast like this, rather it's speaking, giving, the life coaching speeches at conferences, or there's just being able to have a normal conversation to break somebody out of their shell that they have social anxiety. They don't know how to really talk to people and have conversations face to face. That's what improv does. So when you see these people on stages at these schools, know that they put in time, effort, equity, sweat, tears, blood, all the things that The Rock says when he's lifting weights in the Iron Paradise. They have done that time and time again in order to perform in front of their friends, just for them to not laugh. So I'm here today to ask you, if you have a friend or have a friend, one, show up to the show. It's probably like $5, $3, and maybe even free sometimes. Just show up. And then second, fake laugh. It is the most important thing, guys. Just fake laugh. Just even these laugh. You see that? You see how easy that was? That's all you have to do. Okay? And if you're in Hollywood tonight, guys, come see my team at Becky, where we perform improv off of your favorite 90s hit sitcoms. Yes, that's right. Me and a couple of other people, I would say about 5, perform improv. Now, you may have seen these people on TV before. Some of them have been in your favorite Nickelodeon shows, your NBC shows, your commercials. They have made Walk the Dog on the dog apping commercial. They have even probably shaken a Frappuccino for you once or 2 or 5 times. You never know. They probably have. Come see them and fake laugh at them. And I yield my time to John Pingel and the rest of the chat. But no, next week we are talking about Marvel. Oh, yes, we are. We are talking.
Yeah, I'll make Marvel. I wanted to see it this weekend, but just stuff in life, guys. One thing I want to say before we head out is the Great Muta just retired officially last week, and I just want to say, if you go to Pro Wrestling Noah's YouTube page, you can watch a company straight up stick the landing on somebody's last walk down the aisle. You can watch that. They act like I've watched it like 4 times. It is, and it's like amazing. They did such a good job with that. So yeah, I'm very sad I never got to see Muta wrestle live, but man, what a career.
Oh, you didn't tell me that my mic was on my beats instead of my.
This thing.
Oh no. Oh well. Well, guys, this was a lot of fun. It's like riding a bike, kind of. But you forgot how to put air into the tire. At least for me. We'll figure it out, guys. We'll be in final form. So next week is Revolution. Are we
Sure.
I should probably hit up our producer Junior and be like, "Hey,
Oh yeah,
are we watching this?"
Yeah, that's right.
Either way, we will be doing a show next week, and we will talk about Revolution. And man, hopefully it's good, guys.
Yeah. Maybe have some guests on. I know we have some people on in the studio, so if we do it from the studio, I may pull like Max on or something.
Ooh,
he have a great conversation about
ooh,
wrestling. Yeah, let's get Max on there. Yeah, talk some
ooh.
wrestling. Yeah. But until then, guys, enjoy your last couple of days of Black History Month, everybody.
Yes. Oh, remember that one year when we did the great every week. We did the great was it to get better know a black wrestler? Did we do that? Was that our segment? That was so fun. And then we you got 2 days left, guys. Well, good Jonathan Gresham. Here he is. There's a shirt. You should all know him already because he's the only person I ever talk about. And he's my favorite pro wrestler. There you go. Neesin, where can the people find you on social media?
Guys, you don't want to find me. I'm not findable, but if you want to find me, just right there. Stay Fly Life on everything.
Even though Twitter is unusable now.
Twitter is up. Well,
I just find it to be unusable.
Twitter's great. I love Twitter.
I do too, but also I hate it at the same time. Yeah, you can find me on JP Thrice on all of the things. We're still trying to do, at least by we, I mean me, I'm still trying to do Tuesday, Thursday, Twitch streams. I pulled the trigger and got Gotham Knights.
You did. I seen you playing.
It was on sale for like $23. So I went, yep, that feels right. They should have marketed that solely as a co-op game.
I told you.
You were right. You told me.
It is great with friends.
Yeah. Everything else, I was like playing it. I've only played it with one of my friends, and I went, this game would be so boring by myself.
That has been my review, guys.
This game would be great so with boring friends. If it was just me. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh my goodness. Let's see if I remember everything. Shall we? Facebook.com/THS Wrestling News, YouTube.com/that hashtag show TV. I did Facebook already. Instagram.com/THS.wrestling. And I feel Twitch.tv/that hashtag show. That feels like everything, but there is one thing that is more important than all of them. And that is that hashtag show.com for everything trending in geek pop culture. And we will see you guys next week. Book it.
I was supposed to end the stream.